That's cool. Nice. Yeah. Alright.
The second pieces I did for this mask, which are the sides of the mask shield. It's a helmet. Came out really nice. I had to switch to brown because I ran out of black ABS. But you can see here that my supports, the support walls were really thin. But you can see here at the top that these machines are really good at recovery. And as it came up closer to the part again, I was able to recover the support for the overhang on these two pieces. And they just came out really great. Not a lot of webbing, just rubs right off. Really great machine though. And I just can't wait to finish this project up. We're gonna sand and paint all these parts, so it really doesn't matter what color I produce all the parts in. But this machine did great. It took me about 3 attempts to really get these pieces because they're so tall. But they turned out great, and just knowing that this machine can recover from what was almost a disaster right here. But as you can see, came right back in and produced really good parts with really good tolerances. And we'll just keep moving forward on this project. Woke up this morning, got some more parts for the Batman helmet done. Came out really good. And you can see my supports for these overhangs are coming out a lot better. I decided to bump up the wall count on my supports for these overhangs. And they're turning out a lot better. A lot more integrity with a second wall around my supports for these overhangs. I'm using a concentric support system. This project is really helping me learn more about using really the right supports and getting the right support density and wall count. And just can't wait to get this project finished. I'm now doing about 5 of the spinal plates for this helmet, for the Batman helmet, and I'm doing about 5 of them at a time. So what I'm doing is I'm lining them all up down the hottest part of the table to get really good bed adhesion. And what I've done to ensure a really good bed adhesion for 5 of these parts at one time, I've crammed them as close as I can together so that all of the brim outlining on the bed adhesion connect to each other for maximum bed adhesion. Doing about 5 parts at a time now, and I got them as close as I can for maximum bed adhesion. And I'm really excited about what I'm learning during this project and doing a multi-piece project here, being able to get as many parts out as I can per run. Learning a lot on this project, and I'm just really impressed how Tenlog is performing. Really good finishes, really good supports, good, just awesome, great bed adhesion. One of these days, I have in the past done some 2 filament projects at a time, 2 filaments at one time projects. I'll get into that a little later in my series, but right now I'm only needing the 1 extruder head at this time, and really excited to get this, to be doing this project at this time right now. So we woke up to ears this morning, Batman ears. I can't wait to peel these off and process them. We are about done with this project. A few more pieces to go. Well, I got all the pieces to this helmet printed out, and I got it all screwed down. Some of my screws have to be filed down a little shorter so they don't stick out so much in some places. But all the finish on all these pieces came out really good. Tenlog did an excellent job printing all this. Got it all assembled. I had to switch to brown, ran out of black ABS, and I got some of the cap pieces that will glue on later. Probably use some more ABS slurry that we made in previous videos. Got another cap here that we'll put on later. Mostly just put this together to see if it would fit. It does fit. It slides on pretty easy without this back piece here. So I'm thinking I will file the chin down along here so that my head fits in there, slides on easier. If filing that doesn't work, then we'll just take this off, maybe modify it to be like a clip-on piece back here. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and I think I'll use Flex Seal to paint it so it comes out with that black cowl texture that I've seen in other YouTube videos. But really, all in all, it's great. The STL files that I downloaded this from Thingiverse on, it says it's not 100% wearable. It does come with a cowl piece and a stand. The cowl is not wearable, but if you print this up at the scale that is listed in the STL file, you know, 100% scale, it is small. I have a kind of a smaller head, so it is wearable for me, barely. If you were to download the files for this helmet, I would recommend scaling it up a good 3 to 5%, depending on how big your head is. Definitely 105% would probably fit an average head. If you have an even bigger head, maybe a 108% scale. But all in all, it's great. I really dig it. I'm using the 3 millimeter screws. They are, I think I got them at 12 millimeters long. Some of them I will file down because they stick through a little bit more. But yeah, it's great. I can't wait to finish this up and wear it and play with it. Well, I filed down that line, made a few small contours, keeping the plate on. It was barely made, just barely. Let me show you what I mean by this thing fits at 100% scale, as opposed to having printed, 103, 105, 108 if you got a fairly large head. But let me just show you how tight this sucker really is. It just barely gets on there for me. Oh, gotta spread the ear open, but there you go. It's on. Goes down the back here. I could probably put some foam up in the top to hold it up a little bit. But that's it at 100% volume. Now we just gotta paint this guy, get some foam on the inside, get some of these screws on the inside. You can see I probably poked an ear here or there with some of the screws. I haven't filed down all the way, but I'm a pretty happy camper with this. A couple of modifications. I hope you have as much fun as I've had doing something like this. Oh, I did chip off the tip there, but with our ABS slurry that we've made, mine's like a really good putty. I'll build this back up. It should stick on there just fine. Haven't had a problem. I also have the 3D print pen. I could probably build it up with that if I really wanted to, but I'll probably use the putty. I could shape it larger and then file it down to the same shape, but I'm still pretty stoked. Here inside the mask, this ear cap that holds a couple of pieces together, I've had to countersink the holes because I'm using a 3 millimeter nut on the back of these screws. Here's the other one. And then I've ground the rest of the screw off flush so that it's not catching on my ear. And here's another screw that I'll have to shave down so that it sits flush against the part. This will hold the back of the neck piece, back of the head piece on. Once I get it on, I'll put a nut on there and then shave that down. The Flex Seal looks alright. I dig it. Looks kind of like a cowl more than 3D printed, but I think once I get it fully assembled, reassembled, I'll just hit all these surfaces that show. I'll hit it again with another coat, and then we'll just wrap this thing up. Well, here it is. Turned out great. I love it. It's a lot of work, but we persevered. We got through it. Learned a lot doing this project. Learned a lot about Flex Seal. Looks great. I think I'll put another coat on it where the surfaces show more. I had taken it all apart and sprayed both sides, front and back, but then I reassembled it, got all my screws down, ground down on the inside, got my ear plates tacked on with the 3D print pen, and I just couldn't be more happy. Just had so much fun. I really lucked out with this thing barely fitting. I did have to grind some more off of this edge here to get it to slip on over my head. because when I finally did get it all assembled and had everything tightened down and the screws properly ground down to the correct length, it really sucked it in even tighter, made it even smaller. So I do recommend, if you want to print this out for yourself and you do have a larger head, a good 105, maybe even 108% if you got a lot of hair for this. The the dome area up here has plenty of room. I think I've got probably 1.5 to 2 inches I could put up here in the top to get it to sit further up where the eyes actually will line up a lot better. But I'm just totally stoked about this, and I'd like to give a big shout out to the boys at Zortrax for putting these files together and making it possible for us beginner types getting into 3D printing and starting. This is my first helmet. It's a great first helmet for, you know, for people. I mean, it's intimidating with all the parts that go to it, but I think it's my first helmet, so I think it is a great first helmet to learn with. I think it's a lot easier to print smaller parts that you can put together as opposed to, I don't know, one big mask or one big helmet print. But yeah, huge shout out to Zortrax for that, and just couldn't be more happy. Can't wait to play with this, wear it around.